Banette. Now, I'm not going to try to tell you that he's some sort of all-around good guy. It's clear that he's not like that. For a start, if we just look through his move pool, well, what is this? It's clear there's, really no good moves in terms of attacking. There's no good coverage moves. The best moves that he has to attack with are like Shadow Claw. But and so, even when you've got this mega form that has, 165 attack, it still feels pretty sad. There's you end up, basically trying to shadow sneak people because you're so slow. But he does have one thing that, one selling point, a unique advantage, and that's Snatch. So this is a move that only two mons get, the Banette line and Zoroark, and Zoroark does not have good Snatch. So what this move does is really incredible, and it using this and some other tricks, Banette actually really destroys the E4. What this does is, when they use a status move like Tailwind and other moves, it just outright steals it. And so this creates some crazy lines, especially on the double battles. So I'll show you what I mean. I actually ran of the run that I've got here is a run through Sydney doubles, Phoebe and Glacier singles, and then Drake doubles. But after I finished this, I actually went back and did the other battles as well. So you can, and the same team actually does the opposite. So Sydney singles, Phoebe and Glacier doubles, and Drake doubles, Drake singles, and you'll see some pretty convincing victories through this. So I wrote a script to trim the footage so that the menus aren't shown, so that it goes a little bit faster, and there'll be some surprises through it, but let's go and have a look. All right, so we get started, and we lead, oh shit. So we get started and we lead Hydreigon and Banette, and as is common, we do some swapping around here to work around the fake out. We're not trying to actually work around the Intimidate here, but we do need to get a mon in without taking any damage. So we swap Hydreigon for Togi here, and we're going to click Snatch. So in order to do the setup here, we needed to have a mon that was faster than at least one of his mons. So we needed Hydreigon fit the bill. It's faster than Incineroar, and then we needed to make sure that we weren't dead to any of his moves. So if we just led Togi, he would have been dead to some of Incineroar's moves, so that wouldn't have been good. So we swapped around like this, and Banette's just out of kill range of each of the of both of them, even in Babby form. Incineroar's always clicking Fake Out into the other slot, and Banette is set up with Snatch. So you'll see what happens here. Click Snatch. The animation's actually pretty cool. All right, so Togi's going to eject out, and we're going to get Salazzle on the field. So Salazzle holds a Payapa Berry so that to reduce damage from Psychic, and with that he's just out of kill range of both of the bonds. So you'll see there, Articuno click Tailwind, and we stall it. So it's a really massive swing in tempo. It's sort of a 2-for-1 because we shut down his move as though we'd faked it out or something, and we've now got a Tailwind. So it's like a turn that goes, fake out your Tailwind, use a setup Tailwind. That's normally a pretty decent turn in doubles. Well, we got all of that for one move. And the setup from here makes the rest of the fight pretty easy. We get to do this sort of standard encoring Incineroar, but then we can also encore Articuno as well. So, and actually we've got so much time that we can do some additional setup and actually use one of the only boosting moves that's available that's even half decent. So Articuno clicks Tailwind. He has to click it again. So this is that 2-for-1 I was talking about. He spent 2 turns doing effectively nothing because now we're on Tailwind neutrality. And that means that Salazzle, who outspeeds him naturally, gets to just click Encore. And so now both of them are locked up and we're free to do what we want. So we have enough time to click Focus Energy. And Hydreigon's holding a Razor Claw, so now we're going to get free crits. So now we're sitting in Tailwind with Hydreigon able to crit every move and just spam Draco Meteors. So now we're coming up to turn 5. We've got Banette just back in, and it lines up perfectly with the end of Articuno's Tailwind, Articuno's Encore, so that now we get the Tailwind again. So we get another 4 turns of Tailwind. Incineroar's just out of his Encore, so we need to kill him. No problem there. And now the next turn, and now we've got Banette on the field to, bait the other Mon that comes in, and then we can just do some easy switching from there, and just close out the rest of the battle. Okay, so Overquill comes in. Now we just shoot down Articuno and swap out Banette. Yep. So Primarina obviously resists the crunch that's incoming, and we're going to be baiting a poison move. And then we can just swap that out for Togi. So we've got a nice chain of swaps in the other slot, and we're chilling, living the double battle dream of having one guy just killing stuff and the other slot just rotating through and keeping the other side busy until we're ready to take double kills. We use Rocky Helmet to get just a little chip to fix a range on Overquill, and Primarina, because we're still under Tailwind, is able to flip turn out on Shifu, taking care of the Sash. Yep. So Togi swaps in, Gunk Shots does nothing, and now Togi's got Fake Out up and will be able to protect next turn, so we're chilling for this. In fact, none of the Mons apart from Urshifu see a kill into Hydreigon, so it's they all just easily attack the other slot. And with the bit of chip that we got from the Rocky Helmet, our crit Draco Meteor has the kill on Overquill. So yeah, it's nice to have 195 base power moves that nobody on his team resists. Okay. All right, we're finally out of Tailwind, but the battle's over. They're down to the last 2 Mons, and as I said, Darkrai doesn't see a kill into Hydreigon, so they just both attack Togi. He protects. We shoot down. We one-shot Darkrai, and then we kill Gyarados next turn. He gets 1 attack off, but we just switch back into Primarina to resist it. So in summary, we tanked 3 attacks through that fight. We took the Fake Out from Incineroar, we took a Crunch from Overquill, and this final attack from Gyarados. And everything in the battle is entirely unbranching. There's no variations on what can see what, because we're not taking any RNG from damage rolls or anything like that. It's just a very straightforward line. So Yeah, there's 3 battles across the 8 E4s that have a tailwind turn 1, and we dominate all of them in sort of a similar way. The Drake doubles is a little bit trickier, but uh, the fact that you can snatch the tailwind makes things well. It's just a huge leg up in the fight. But there's actually some other tricks that you can play with Snatch across the E4 as well that are kind of fun. So we see that in the next fight in versus Phoebe singles. So for this, we lead Togi, and uh, we were able to carry the Toxic from the last fight because actually it was a 5-1 fight with our 6-1 hasn't appeared yet. And actually won't appear in this fight either. For this, Togi just takes down the Crobat. We protect, then its highest damage move will be Super Fang, so we'll take a fixed amount of damage from that as well, and end up on a deterministic amount of damage from this. The only variation is our damage roll. Maybe we need an extra turn of protect or not, depending on whether we hit this range. So yeah, for this we missed the range and we've got one more protect turn, but our berry procs and we're always easily meeting the range for the next bait. We need to be above 22% to bait the Zoroark. So I won't keep with tradition and try to tell you this is Gengar, this is just Zoroark, and we swap to Hydreigon and shoot it down. Hydreigon's carrying a Choice Scarf, and we actually had to have Hydreigon on a negative speed nature for exactly the next baiting. So this is difficult to work with for the rest of the E4, but it's worth it for this, and actually there are some advantages to it as well. We end up just using a Choice Scarf for everything else, and it means that we get neutral attack and neutral defenses. We're using a plus special attack minus speed nature, and it allows exactly the bait that's coming up. We'll see this here. Yep, Zoroark. Yeah, so we bait out exactly Marshadow here because with a Choice Scarf and a negative speed nature, Marshadow actually outspeeds Hydreigon, but Hydreigon outspeeds Lunala. So this is always Marshadow, and this was the only way I could get this bait consistently. We swap out on exactly close combat, and we're holding a Choice Scarf, so this never kills us. And then we click the move Imprison. So Marshadow has 3 attacking moves and Bulk Up. One of its attacking moves is ineffective against us, close combat. Its other 2 attacking moves are Knock Off and Shadow Sneak, which happen to be moves we have as well. So now we've actually imprisoned all of its moves, and its only option is to click Bulk Up. But it's happy to do that. Bulk Up still has a positive score. It's not marked as ineffective or anything. But we do want to give it a few Bulk Ups itself. We don't want to just take all of them, because if we get into range where we're showing it a kill, then Bulk Up will have a negative score and we'll have to stall out the close combats, and it's just annoying. So we let it have one before we start snatching. So 1 for him, 1 for us. 2 for us, 3 for us, 4 for us, and then 1 for him. So it was a little bit annoying that we had to actually use a focus sash for this. You'd think that, hey, Mega Banette's ability is Prankster, we should be able to get a priority imprisonment. Unfortunately, Mars Shadow outspeeds us, and Shadow Sneak does more damage than knockoff to us when we're holding the Mega Stone, and then we're dead to crit. So the only way that we could do this was actually to use the focus sash for it. Um, but it works well enough. And then even without the Mega Form at +6 attack, we were able to sweep with just Shadow Sneak. So we had to use the scale to max the attack IV, but with a maxed attack IV and attack neutral nature and +6, we guarantee kills on the rest of the mons in Phoebe. So yeah, this is two fights, two riskless unbranching lines, enabled by Banette and some interesting tech from Snatch. So again, I wouldn't say that that Banette is going to be the goat of your run, but sort of like Absol, it's a mon that can do very interesting things in these fights specifically, and I think there might be some tech for Snatch in other fights as well, especially double battles. It's something that I don't think has been well explored. Um, so, although it's unlikely that you'll have another Imprison set up in a fight outside the E4. So yeah, then the next fight we're doing Phoebe. We're doing Glacier singles. For this, unfortunately, Banette has no role in the fight. He has to go to the bench, holding the EXP share, and our Mon who's been on the bench for the other two fights, Shifu Dark is going to come to going to step into the role and do normal Shifu things and sweep. So this line for Glacier singles is really not that unusual. We to start off, we've got Togi in the team, so I beat this Mammoth Swine the same way I've beat it in so many Mammoth Swines throughout the run. We fake out and then U-turn. I'm a big fan of U-turn on Togi. I pretty much always buy it as soon as I can. So then Hydreigon's holding the Choice Scarf and we U-turn again. So then Togi's actually holding a Jaboka Berry and it gives us just a little bit of chip. It was actually the best way to hold for an item to convert into damage. I think it's actually sort of ironic to use a Jaboka Berry for this. It's normally it's such a clutch technical item, and we're basically using it as iron barbs, which I find sort of funny. But yeah, the setup through this of killing with U-turn is very reliable. If we crit at some point, then we can leave out the last fake out and just extremely reliably get the kill on the turn, which is always good. It gives us full control of who to put out next. Here we put out a Shifu. He's poisoned, and we need to bait in exactly Enamorous. What we're actually going to be doing is sweeping with the Lychee Berry. So we need to we need to end up in a state where Shifu is out. There's no mons in the way, and he's able to sweep through the rest of the back line. But there's a number of complications, little sub goals that we have to solve in order to put that in place. For the way that this team has things set up. So it happened that the only way that we could bait in Enamorous in our team was to put in a Shifu, but that means that we couldn't have started a Shifu at exactly the health range that we needed for the lychee berry, so he has to be poisoned, but then that means that we're missing some, we're at risk of dying to hail, chip, and poison because we're going to be on low range, so we have some solutions for that, and there's just all of these missing pieces that, all of these bits and pieces that had to come together for this. So you'll see how the problems end up getting solved. Okay, so we bait in the Enamorous, and we swap in Salazzle, who has quad resistance against Fairy, and single resistance against the Mystical Fire. So we're in very good shape for this 1v1. It is, less deterministic than the other fights. There's some tiny risk of losing, but we've got Salazzle set up so that it's very likely that across the interactions he's going to click Calm Mind at least once, because our only attacking move that we've taught is Flamethrower. We don't have Sludge Bomb on at this point because we don't want to scare him and show him too much damage. So because we can't kill in 2 hits over a number of these turns, he's going to boost at least once, and from there we can just encore him. So what we want from this interaction is to end above, I think it's 70% health or 65% health, and this means that we're able to make a switch without being dead to a double crit. So, and this is the only risk in this fight. If we were somehow, got attack dropped every time, and he never clicked Calm Mind, then there is we're likely to be lower than this 70% threshold. Then we bait the wrong move, and we end up exposed to a double crit risk, which still isn't that big a deal. Okay, so, but yeah, with if we're able to get him to click Calm Mind, then we've got plenty of time to heal up with leftovers. Okay, so Activish comes out. So this is the bait that we needed to be specific. If we were on a lower HP, then the ice moves, Blizzard and Icicle Crash, were in range to kill us as well. So we couldn't do this pivot through Hydreigon. We had to pivot. We'd have had to pivot directly to Primarina. So we do a slow U-turn here, and then we do a slow flip turn. And now we're able to get Shifu in. We take the second tick of poison, which drops us down into Lychee Berry range. The Lychee Berry is a berry that, in a pinch, i.e. at 25% or lower health, gives you a +1 attack boost. So there's a lot of ways that you can essentially sweep this fight with Shifu based on different things. We've got a Jolly nature, which means that we need either a Choice Band or the Lychee Berry boost to KO the Calyrex and the Kyurem. So this is one way of doing things. Another way of doing things is that if you're an adamant nature, then you can do it with the Life Orb, but then you need some way of getting a speed drop and a little bit of chip on Kyurem with like an Icy Wind or something. So there's a couple of different routes through the fight that essentially solve things in a similar-ish way, depending on what nature you want a Shifu to be for your other things, or what nature he is to start with. I actually had a neutral nature of Shifu, so I would have had to change nature either way, and this was the route that worked best for the other fights. So yep, and now we solved the other problem by using Drain Punch. So we needed a bit of chip on Arctivish so that we could kill with Drain Punch, so that we could heal back up, so that we could be, so that we could not die to chip with the low health that we had, so that we could get the damage boost that we needed. So there's all of these like sub problems or yak shaving. And then here we just kill out the next three. So annoyingly, this guy is just out of range of 100% kill with Drain Punch. So we couldn't have just healed back up on him. We've got like 3 rolls of Drain Punch that that don't kill, so we have to kill with close combat. And yeah, he sets up the hail, which does this extra little bit of passive damage to us. If you're just dealing with hail, then you can do the 4 kills with from the 25% with Lychee Berry, but if you're poisoned as well, you need that bit of healing. Okay, so that's third fight down. Some tiny bit of fiction risk in there for with the Salazzle 1v1, but otherwise, apart from that, a functionally riskless line. So we had to do a little bit of TM teaching for this beforehand, but Banette gets to step back into the spotlight, and for this there are actually 2 branching lines. So there's 2 versions of this depending on what move Dragapult clicks on turn 2. I've only got one line in here, the other one's a bit more complex, and I want to go back and put that one together as well, but for this I'll just show the simpler one. On turn 1, Dragapult sees a kill into Banette with Shadow Ball, so he's always clicking Shadow Ball this turn. Suicune doesn't see a kill into either Mon. He's just out of seeing a kill on Salazzle, so Suicune's always clicking Tailwind this turn because Salazzle outspeeds him and he doesn't see any kills. Okay, so turn 1, we finally get to use the Prankster ability, which gives status moves +1 priority, and we're going to use this to cut in front of Dragapult and click Imprison. So we taught the Shadow Ball TM, and now Dragapult is blocked out of using Shadow Ball. Meanwhile, Salazzle uses this strange and frankly not very good move, Torment. So what this does is it prevents Dragapult from using the same move 2 turns in a row. The actual mechanics of this are extremely strange, or at least I think so. So unlike moves like Disable, when you use this on the same turn, it doesn't actually block out the invocation of that move. So this makes it kind of shit, frankly. It means that you're always going to get... There's an extra sort of turn of latency on it that ends up being really difficult to work around because you're often trying to prevent your Torment user from eating the move that was just used last time, and it's pretty difficult to do that in total. But it turns out to be actually exactly what we need for this situation, even though in general it's not very good. So yeah, Torment goes down, and the reason why this was key is that Dragapult's moveset is Dragon Darts, Shadow Ball, and 2 screens. So Dragon Darts has a bug in the targeting where it sees kills if as though it were in singles. So as far as the kill computation goes, it thinks that it's going to hit both darts into one side, when in fact the darts are going to be split between the two mons. This means that it's very difficult to avoid showing Dragapult kills. We are not showing it any kills for Dragon Darts at the moment, but if it hits us even once, then it will see kills into us. And so this next turn, it's able to click Dragon Darts and it's able to click screens, and there's no way that we could force it to not click Dragon Darts or force it to only click screens, apart from having two fairies out. So initially, before I did some testing on this, I had hoped the way Imprison would work is that it would see Shadow Ball as its highest damage move, and then not give a highest damage move bonus to the next one. But actually it excludes imprisoned moves before it does the damage ranking. This again is different from moves like Disable, where Disable comes in after the damage ranking. So if you disable the highest damage move, then the second highest damage move gets a +0. I was hoping it would work something like that, and then if we had a fairy on the field in this turn, it would say, okay, my highest damage move is Shadow Ball, can't use it. Dragon Darts gets +0, screens gets +6, have to click screens. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So instead, the only way that we can control its actions are with this move Torment. So this turn, it's able to click Dragon Darts or Shadow Ball, but the turn after, even if it were to click even if it were to click Dragon Darts this turn, the next turn it has to click screens. So the next bit of tech that we've got here is Skill Swap, which we again use the Prankster with. So as I said, Suicune clicked Tailwind first turn. So under Tailwind, Suicune definitely outspeeds Slazzle. So how can we get our Encore off? Well, we give Slazzle Prankster. There are no Prankster Encore setters that you can get in Run and Bun, but we can build our own. So we do our skill swap, and then Slazzle gets the priority dynamically. So the same turn that Encore goes off with +1 priority. So again, this is the simpler line where Port just clicks the screen directly. I want to put up another thing with the sideline, which is again more involved, where we actually have to eat the Dragon Darts. But with this, it's kind of simple. So under Tailwind, Dragapult has over 700 speed. I think it's actually the fastest mon that you fight against. It's faster than Wallace's Barraskewda in the rain, but we have priority. So our speed could be 1 for all we care. We're able to get the Encore off. So please clap. Encore. So now we've got both of their mons completely locked up. They've got plenty of PP on both moves, and so we've got a lot of time to get our setup off. So to start our setup, we actually take the Prankster back. We've got another little sub-problem to solve here. We want to snatch the Tailwind eventually, and the way that snatch works is it takes the first setup move that's available. Now, obviously, Dragapult outspeeds Suicune, and Dragapult also has a clear body ability, which makes it awkward to drop its speed. We could do some skill swapping to it and take away its clear body ability, but there's a simpler way to do it. Instead, we're just going to give Suicune Prankster. So we had a Prankster Encore setup, now we're going to have a Prankster Tailwind setup, because this Suicune is going to be working for us. So now we'll be able to get our Tailwinds off at priority speed, then we'll steal them at priority speed, and we'll be good. So this is another little interaction with Encore and Torment. If you Encore somebody into a tormented move, the first move that's invoked, it counts as like a called move, and it does the move. Then in the second turn of the Encore, it will struggle. So this is again these strange interactions with Torment. It doesn't work the way that you would expect. it doesn't struggle the first time or something like that, like it would if you were encoring a disabled move. Instead, you get this thing where if you click Torment on the second turn of an encore, it'll struggle on the third move of the encore. If you encore a mon that's already tormented, it will do the move the first time, and then the second time it will struggle. So weird stuff. But it's convenient for this line. Dragapult breaks this sash against our Banette, and they're just out of Tailwind, and it's just in time for us to get it set up. So we steal their Tailwind, and we've got Hydreigon on the field. We're almost ready to start rolling. So we get our Focus Energy off. Dragapult's still uselessly in his Encore, but his Encore's just ended. Suicune's out of Encore, but we actually don't need Encore to control him because we have Snatch. So Suicune's going to spend the rest of the fight thinking, hey, we're pretty slow here and I don't have anything to kill. I should set up Tailwind. So we've basically got him stun locked without having the Encore setter on the field, and then every 4 turns of this we get a Tailwind out of this. So now we've just got Drake's team of Dragon and Dragon adjacent mons like Charizard, and we're just going to shoot them all down with Draco Meteor. There's one Draco dropped. Do not care about your bursting aura. You will just die to Draco. So we're out of Tailwind now, but again, we have a Prankster Tailwind setter. So it's going to get, Suicune will set up Tailwind first, we get the dynamic speed, and we get to outspeed. So it doesn't matter that we've got a negative speed nature on our Hydreigon, we're getting our speed boosts elsewhere, and we are just free to sweep. So all of these are, in theory, difficult ones to deal with, but we're sitting here with guaranteed crits on the Tailwind and chilling. So in this line, the only damage that we took was that struggle damage from Dragapult. In the other line, we take a little bit more damage from struggles in the one darts, but those are the only attacks that we actually face. Now, the Suicune's left alone, but it's we actually have some more tasks for it. It's not done working for us yet. So we're not ready to just take it off the field quite yet. So Salazzle comes back out, and we're going to Encore it into Tailwind. There's still some PP left for us to work with. Yep. Clap again. Yeah, we didn't really need to use the Snatch, but we just do something useless. Well, actually, I guess it's minorly helpful to have the Tailwind set up, and then we Toxic our guy. So this lets us get our status up for the next fight without having to work around carrying it for this fight. It's nice to have Toxic on board and plenty of time to use it. And we also get to use Salazzle's unique selling point, right? We can actually toxic our own Togedemaru with the corrosion. No need for wild Salazzles. We've got one on the team. So yeah, all right. Now, Suicune, you're allowed to die. Your job's over. Thanks. It was good to have 7 mons for this fight. Although we, it was a 5-mon line. Well, so it's a 6-mon line with Suicune as the 6th. Actually, wait, 4-mon line. We didn't use Prim here either. We used Prim in the sideline where she has to come out and heal and stuff. Okay, so that's the four main fights, and now it's just on to the champion. So again, this was riskless. The other sideline's riskless as well. So overall, we've had 4 fights, and the only risk has been complete fiction on Glacier. And we've had 1 point of divergence. In this, there's 2 branching lines. So it's a pretty satisfying E4 overall. And we'll see that the champion fight has some divergence, but it's still, and technically some risk, but it's extremely low. So, yep. All right. Now, for this, Hydreigon's holding the choice scarf, and we get started here. So we're going to start with a U-turn. This allows us to do just a little bit of chip that we need. The crit was not guaranteed, but it's also not significant. So we're statused, so the Ice Beam doesn't matter. And we damage to be exactly in range that after this interaction we'll be dead. So this is something that's kind of nice with Togi. You have the flexibility of turns of like whether or not you fake out, whether or not you stop by a turn to protect. So it's very easy to make sure that you die to passive damage, which is a technique that's often very useful in these fights, like the champion specifically, but in other fights where you're sacrificing, it's often good to have your guy go down and have the free choice of who to put out next to control the baiting and not have to tank a random hit. So we're getting in range exactly of a Salic Berry for this. Our Togi is Adamant, and we have the move Zing Zap. So between the chip that we had from U-turn, optional chip that we have next turn if we miss this range, and the attack here, we're always able to get this kill and have a free choice of who to put out next. So yep, Koga dies, but even if we flinched and he was alive, or something like this, there's no way to have Togi live there. So that's something that I really recommend. Obviously it depends on different lines, but it's something that if you're doing a champion fight, you could really consider if you are killing Kyogre and there's a way that you can have it trade to passive damage, it's often much better to do that than to have the Barrascuda come in and kill you with either flip turn or liquidation, because if then you immediately have this branch in your line for whether he flips, and even if it's the liquidation line, you then have to take some damage early in the fight, which can mess up your baits for later on. So instead, we get to put Primarina out and bait how we want. So we have so Primarina always baits this Manaphy and always baits exactly Energy Ball. And as I did so many times throughout the run, you bait a grass move, switch in a 4x grass resist, and encore it in. So this is something that's very good with Salazzle. There's really not many encore users in the game. I think it's clear that Haulage is the best, but Salazzle's extremely good as well. And the fact that you get the the move is not marked as ineffective, so there's no risk of him having to switch out. You don't have to worry about showing kills to the rest of the line. If you get the move encored in, you have the lock. So this was actually a 50-50. He could use Tail Glow or Energy Ball. If he used Tail Glow, then we encore that as well, and then there's a further 50-50 that we can lose for whether he gets withdrawn, and then we go down a slightly different ordering through the mons. Functionally, what ends up happening is we kill another guy, drop out Primarina, and then there's another chance at the same 50-50 with Manaphy. So it's just a little bit of variance in how the mons come out. But with the line structured to always have somebody coming out fresh, so that it doesn't actually matter so much how these orderings end up working. But for this, we get the simple case of just Energy Ball. So we encore this in, and before this we taught Sludge Bomb from the TM, and there's really no way to lose this 1v1, even if we're getting special defense dropped every time. We're always going to win here. Mana feasibility is frustrating. Ordinarily, it doesn't matter about doing damage. In fact, my Salazzle happened to have a 0 special attack IV. Ordinarily in these situations, you just click Toxic, right? And then the guy's dying to passive damage, so you can swap out and get control of the rest of the line very easily. But this time we actually have to shoot him. So, as it happens, we're actually going to let Salazzle die here instead of taking the kill, because we want to get the revenge kill with Hydreigon to control the next baits exactly. If we took the kill with Salazzle, we would get Scooter, and we want to keep the line consistent. So instead, we've got an easy way to just kill him with Draco. After the special attack drop, we'll see Palkia come in here, and then we can keep our health on our guys and keep the lines consistent by moving Scooter to the back. So this is always Draco Meteor, and then it doesn't matter what he clicks here, we always get our slow flip turn in, and then with Choice Scarf, Hydreigon always outspeeds and kills with Draco. So again, we've got this very consistent baiting because we're always putting out a guy with 100% HP. So now this is always Ice Punch, which we always live. And we get our final action from Banette. We Mega Evolve and use the TM that we taught just before the fight. Classic animation. So now Swampert will lose 25% of its health every turn. He missed. Not that it matters. So yeah, now we just need to do some switch stalling. So Primarina baits Earthquake. So we swap to Hydreigon. Then from this, it's always Ice Punch. Primarina's hit her assignment, so it doesn't matter whether she gets frozen here. Yep, and now the Barraskewda. So we hold Citrus for some of these strange lines where we end up, having these like reorderings with Manaphy and stuff, but these are very rare cases. Mostly Prim's item didn't matter. So yeah, we always win that 1v1. It doesn't, Barraskewda can't kill Hydreigon with crit, and Urshifu always wins this 1v1. Urshifu actually holds the eject button for, in case we get some of these different orderings. If Manaphy was withdrawn and then Goodra would come out, then we would kill Goodra with CC, eject out on that, and put Prim back out to bait Manaphy back in. So yeah, that's the 5 fights of the of this ordering, the double, single, single, doubles. So for this, I had this was actually a run that I had played almost all of last year and left at the E4 because life is like that sometimes. But I picked it up again, a month or so ago, and said, "All right, well, let's finish this off." And I'm glad that I did. I found, pretty cool stuff. So I had 15 scales overall. I thought that I only had 2 candies, and when I looked at the save file, I had 2 candies, but then I went on the map and actually found another 3, which really surprised me because I'm not one to actually hoard candies. I tend to spend them early in the game. So I think I really didn't know when I was playing that I had that many candies on the map. So yeah, this is the IVs and such. So yep. So this is the configuration going into Sydney. So yeah, this is the this negative speed nature that we set. It came with this was a game corner Hydreigon, so it came with good stats. I can't remember which one I actually had to max. I think I scaled special attack or speed at some point earlier in the run before the E4, but I don't remember. Then Banette. So this came with pretty bad stats. I had to use a couple of scales on this. So I needed the max attack in order to do the Phoebe sweep, and it needed the extra defense in order to avoid showing kills to Incineroar for Sydney. With with the positive special defense nature, I didn't have to scale special defense, but if I had a neutral special defense nature, I would have had to scale that as well. Assuming I didn't have a massive IV for it. Yeah, for Shifu, I got him with a neutral nature, so I set him to a positive to Jolly. He also had good IVs coming out, and I had already scaled. I think it was attack or speed. I don't remember in the course of the run. Salazzle had so I used him a lot through the run, but and I think I'd scaled speed earlier, and I had to scale defense for this. Special attack was just tragic 0, but I never and I always thought like, oh well, I'll scale that if I need to, but I never had to. So again, I think having an on Corsair is extremely important. I actually happen to have 2 in the box. I had a Alolan Raichu as well, who I think is actually very good, and I was initially calcing for the E4, but it ended up working much better with the team that I had. So Togi, again, I scaled him a lot through the course of the run. I think there's a lot of problems that can be solved with these U-turn pivots and being able to kill people on the turn like this. So it's a solution to a lot of difficult fights, I think. So yeah, I had happily scaled, his attack before, and I think one of the defense, special defense. So yeah, and He came naturally adamant, which is obviously fantastic. Never got to make use of the random 30 special attack, but yeah, had very good stats to start with, like excellent Togi. Um, Prim was trash. So I caught Prim in Victory Road, and her defense stat was also at like 7 or something like this. So she wasn't able to do the sort of normal Primarina things in the E4, and I actually did most of my calcing initially, assuming that she wouldn't make the team. But even though all that she really did was pivot through things, she just took attacks and flip turned and stuff like that. Um, it still ended up being better than anybody else. It was better than Glisopod and any other alternative, because the typing is just such a fantastic synergy with the rest of the mons. So across these six, there's really good resistances and switch-ins. So we so the pivot chains work very well. You can always have somebody to resist to come in, and the fairy type was really crucial to be able to switch in on the dragon attacks. So yeah. Um, in the When I actually ran back and did the singles, doubles, doubles, singles lines, I set up a much stronger Primarina, and she bowls out much harder and does typical E4 things. So yeah, in terms of movesets, in the other line of the Drake doubles, she does click Life Dew, she clicks Slip Turn, never clicks Icy Wind, and Moonblast is only for baiting order. But in the lines that I showed, the only move that she clicked was Flip Turn. Then Togi, crucial in all of the fights. I think he's an excellent E4 mon. It's very good to have a Steel type, and a Steel Electric is a useful switch in lots of places as well. Yep, Salazzle, as I said, very interesting and clutch, one of my favorites. And Shifu, that's the move set. And then that's the moves going into Sydney. The knockoff and shadow sneak there for the imprison and Phoebe, and then later on we teach the skill swap TM, the shadows ball TM, and then finally the curse TM. So yeah. And then finally Hydreigon had to scale the focus energy. The focus energy tech is something that I had seen before. Obviously, it's a little bit niche. You need to have this turn of setup, but it's focus energy is a move that's obviously trash, and everybody else that gets it. But in Hydreigon, it does have some utility because it sets up the Draco Meteor so well. And in Run and Bun, it uses the mechanics where the focus energy gives you 2 critical hit stages, which stacks with the 1 critical hit stage that you get from the Razor Claw item, so you get guaranteed critical hits, which is a pretty impactful setup for a sweeper. So yeah, that's this run through of. I want to record the other one as well. I think that there's actually some very cool lines through that, and I think it was an interesting exercise in doing the E4, doing all of the fights. But for now, this is long enough, so I'll leave it here.